And we are... Whoop, wrong one. There we go. Proper aspect ratio. Now we're back with more 3DO action as we celebrate Rebecca Heineman and her unfortunate passing last week. So, we opened with what I feel was her best work in Wolfenstein 3D. But now we're going to play her most infamous work. It's infamous for a number of reasons, but none of them are their fault. We'll get into that along the way. Art Data Interactive. So basically, Art Data Interactive purchased the rights to have Doom on the 3DO. And then they got Rebecca to start work on the game. But the thing about that is, they had told her that the game was basically done. And they were wanting to add, like, more levels, more weapons, etc. You know, figured it's mostly done, so okay. Would you believe absolutely nothing was done? Basically, Art Data was under the impression to port something, all you needed to do was just recompile the code. So his version of having the game basically done and ready was he just gave her a copy of the game and said, "Alright, goodbye." What a thing to do. Okay, now this is the level set from the Jaguar version, but it had to be forced on here. But I do mean like brute forced onto here, because they were given 10 weeks to do this port. 10 weeks. That it compiles is amazing. But speaking of amazing, the soundtrack. This soundtrack is awesome, and like the best part of this whole port. And like the one thing that they got right. At least the team who bought the rights, because this is the Art Data Interactive guy who, you know, spent the money to get the license. This is his band. And oh yes, it is running like this. This is not a YouTube connection problem. But it's got that music. Alex says, "Ooh, dooming time." Welcome back, Alex. And yes, it is dooming time. In the most jankiest version of them all. It makes the Super Nintendo version look absolutely cromulent. But again, 10 weeks, one person who basically never left their computer the whole time. This game, among other, well, I think it was mostly this game that eventually got them the nickname Burger. Because what they did was they would buy like a ton of burgers from like the nearby McDonald's or whatever fast food joint there was, and then just keep the burgers in her desk. So she could code, nap, wake up, burger, code again, and just live at their desk and force this thing out the door. Poor thing eventually got help from John Carmack, which is probably the only reason it ended up working. Alex says, "Never mind, my eyes and brain." POV, me on my deathbed playing Doom using the brain cells within the last 7 minutes I got. 7 minutes I got, I die to a self-rocket, and that's GG. It's true. It's true. Well, I mean, you can see it, like, the more entities it has to process, the harder it has to try. Like, if I get to just a simple wall, see how much smoother that runs? But then we actually introduce sprites, items, enemies. Phil says, "This is how I imagine some of the purists on Steam Deck subreddit believe some games look like." Yes! Actually, 100% agreed. I swear, currently topically, the way people jeez, friggin' sentence building. The way people talk about the way the Dark Ages runs on Steam Deck versus, like, my 4090, you'd swear that the game runs like this. I assure you it does not. Like, yeah, it obviously doesn't run as good, but it ain't this. Oh, crap. What do you mean I missed? There we go. Can you beat the Icon of Sin 3DO? I want a challenge run like this. As far as I know, nobody's ported Doom 2 or the Icon of Sin to the game. It's just Doom 1 stuff and just the Jaguar stuff. So I don't think we even have a Cyber Demon or Spider Mastermind. Our toughest customers might be the Barons. Of course, we all know the real challenge here is the frame rate. Phil says, saw some clown on our Steam Deck call our Reformake unplayable. What? No. That's foolish. It runs just fine. I mean, yeah, stuff's low, but what do you expect, man? Unplayable. Jeez. Our Reformake? I'm shocked. Yeah, me too. Because I thought it runs fine. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to make some compromises. It's a fucking handheld, my dude. I'm not expecting to run Dark Ages like it runs off my 4090. I'm just happy that it runs consistently. Phil says, like, come on, man. It's a handheld. What do you expect? Lower the settings, lock the FPS to 30. Exactly what I was just saying, man. Exactly what I was just saying. We're on the same page here. Lower the settings, lock it. Unplayable is such a fucking reach. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And maybe you might say that I might not be the best person to be saying such things. Because, I mean, I'm still playing this. Obviously, I have a much higher ceiling of what I'm willing to consider playable for something I enjoy. I mean, to be clear, if the Dark Ages ran like this on deck, I don't think I would be playing it as much as I did, even before the new update. Which, honestly, God, it makes it run so good. I would compare it to the way the Switch handles Doom Eternal. Honestly, smoother in many ways. Only because occasionally you can, on smaller areas, you can hit as many as 40 FPS. But I never seem to go below 30 on even the craziest parts of the game so far. So it's pretty dang solid. Gotta love that music. Legit though, not like the 32X version where I'd just be making fun of the farts if I wouldn't have already turned them off. Alex says, I would not complain in the slightest. I'm too poor to. Relatable feeling. I don't care how I play, I care that I play. That's it. The beginning and end. If nothing else, I'm demonstrating that now. Better versions within arm's reach. Phil says, all these anything under 60 is unplayable types. Clearly they didn't grow up with GoldenEye Perfect Dark. Exactly! Exactly! Like, GoldenEye, I think averaged like in mid-20s, like 25, 27. I don't think it ever hit 30. Like, unless you were like in a single room and there was like no one else in there with you. And then, of course, you know, deathmatch would bring that down. But, oh man, Perfect Dark. When you get like all the simulants in there, all the players in there, and everyone just starts hucking N-bombs. Oh yeah. That is performance loss. Alex says, this reminds me of the gameplay news reporter used to show us how games make you violent. Yeah, the way that badly edited news footage would always look on those commercials. Or not commercials, but TV proceedings, circuses, I guess. Absolutely. This looks like it could be Entertainment Tonight footage. Why little Bimmy can't stop wanting guns. Tonight at 7. Alex says, anything under 60 is only bad online, to be honest. Hit and miss. You're mostly right. You're mostly right. I'm still willing to play a 30 FPS game as long as it's consistent. Like, it has to be consistent. But 60 is obviously preferable. Like, you don't want a 30 FPS fighting game. That's just, no. No. That's got to be 60 or nothing. But I could fuck with a 30 FPS FPS. As long as it's consistent and not, you know, like this. I wouldn't be fucking with this online. Excuse me. Usually I mute those. Phil asks, how's that recent Dark Ages Steam Deck patch holding up? Know you had a positive first impression. Probably beaten the game once or twice since then. I'm coming up on the home stretch on my current play, and so far it's holding up like really, really well. Parts that I knew were grinding the system down like, not in the city of Riul. The Temple of Lamarith had a couple of fights that caused some frame drops pre-patch, but now nothing. Just nothing. And the last chapter I need to put to test is the Reckoning. That last level has some of the biggest and most open spaces that did present some problems pre-patch, but I don't think they will post-patch, just based on the performance that I'm seeing so far. I would have beaten it once or twice since then, but man, I've been addicted to Ball Pit and Kingdoms of the Dump. They've been taking Doom time because they're just that damn good. But I am almost through it. Once I've totally beaten it, I'll let you know. Why are professional in RE4 make do you die if you have to do the whole mission again? Well, yeah, Phil's got it. Manual saves only. Manual saves only. Manage your... Wait. Does 4 still... No. It uses ink ribbons on professional. Ha ha ha. Right. Took a while for me to come back there. Man, I gotta get back to 4 make. That chain gun winding up. It's trying so hard. Use typewriters frequently. Oh, maybe I'm remembering wrong and there's no ink ribbons. I just remember the typewriter. Woo, crunchy. We're just in episode 1. This isn't even the bigger stuff. I kind of want to go back for the chainsaw. Yeah. No ink ribbons in 4. Okay, so I'm misremembering that. An easy mistake to make. And in that case, yeah, spam the fuck out of your saving. Ugh. You can do it! Lay down the suppressing fire! Definitely do need to set aside some time for... Here I am considering another classic replay of 4. You know, RE4 makes like, hey, you were having a great time. Come on back now. Phil says, the only thing spamming will cost you is an S+ rank. That's right, you have to control your saving impulse then. But if survival's the case, then, you know, fuck it, just go. All depends on what priorities are in place. Love the funkiness of this track. But again, that soundtrack. At least something about this port had to be worthwhile. But, you know, they made their deadline. They made their deadline. And then people paid money for this. But at the very least, you know what this had that the 32X one definitely didn't? Shoulder buttons for actual easy strafing, instead of having to, like, hold C and then D-pad left and right. Oh my god. Wait, how do we... Okay, it's hold that and tap that to switch weapons. Okay, okay. Mama raised a no-saver. Ooh, that's high consequence. Especially if that's like your first time through professional. That's hell. That, sir, is hell. I wouldn't put myself through that until I could at least reliably survive professional. Woo! Wouldn't reliably survive blowing ourselves up by shooting that barrel. No, sir. Can't just leave you alive. Get rid of these entities. And hey, we got an almost okay frame rate. And then the rest of the level loads. Or it tries to. Godspeed, little doodle. You can do it. They're just stairs. Phil says, I mean, you can only save at typewriters. It's not like good old-fashioned save scumming with slapping F6. That's true, and that feels like a good enough compromise. You can do it! You can do it! Process him! The way he just hung in the air. It's funny because here they're missing like the inter-level art. Like there should be like a map we're seeing, like trying to point in the right direction of the screen. Camera's got me all reversed. But here we should be seeing like a map screen. And of course some slightly different music, but... yeah, this one was a good music track too. Oh my god! Yes! Not often I get a jib at that part. Usually the Spectre eats that. The best part is, most of the time while I'm moving around, I'm moving at walk speed. At run, we get an even funnier slideshow. Phil says, I remember quick saving in Half-Life seconds to dying from fall damage, so Gordon got stuck in an infinite loop of squishing to death. That's a whoopsie. I have watched a friend do something similar. It was, I'm pretty sure it was in episode 2. But anyway, they were driving around in the yellow car, and they had gotten out, and the vehicle just kept going, right? And then it went like over the guardrail, and the game saved just as it was unrecoverably going over, so then we couldn't go forward. It's like, oh, well, great. Just great. We kept trying. Yeah, like the buggy in Half-Life 2. Winters, exactly. It was the buggy. That's what you were driving. That's the story I was just trying to tell. We tried so hard to get to that thing, but we just couldn't be fast enough. And that checkpoint was like right as it was flying over the edge. Carnivorous says, whoa, this is chunky. Isn't it, though? Also, welcome back, both of you. That was on Highway 17. Oh, God. I couldn't be more wrong. Episode 1 or 2. Jesus. The point is, I didn't make it up. That's the power of 3DO, poor Carnivorous. And you know, considering how awesome the Wolfenstein port we were playing this morning runs, it's kind of like, how did this turn out this way? At least from an outside perspective. But then, you know, you realize that the Wolfenstein 3D port had proper funding, it had time to do the project, and they actually had the resources they needed. And in this case, that poor person was given 10 weeks to start from scratch. The fact that they got anything working at all is some kind of minor miracle. But imagine if they could have actually had, you know, some extra time in the cooker to optimize it the way the Wolfenstein 3D port was optimized. This could have been a really cool version of the game. I don't think it would ever match the scope that Art Data had in mind. They were wanting to put like live action FMVs in. They commissioned a giant rubber Baron suit, even though it looked more like a cyber demon. There was like all kinds of stuff that they wanted to add. That probably wouldn't have made it. But they could have had something really cool here. Phil says, Highway 17 is a love it or hate it chapter. I am in the love it camp. Winter says, that's my favorite chapter, actually. I remember that. There's something about the way that city explores. Or at least that part of it. Good stuff. I know, otherwise your favorite chapter is obviously Ravenholm, right? Isn't it, Winters? That place you don't like to go? Phil says that one poison zombie they stick in front of the abandoned house is just the first time the players always piss themselves. Yeah, that's a good jump scare to have. Like that time that we were playing in VR, and then that poison head crab got hooked up to that roof. That was good. that was a very real piss yourself fear. Phil says, I'm also a fan. Water Hazard 2. Water Hazard is such a good case of like environmental storytelling. Love exploring Water Hazard so much. Winter says, I actually wrote a song about it that my band used to play. Man, I forgot about that song. It's been a hot minute since I thought about that, but yeah, I remember that now that you bring it up. Okay, we gotta get off that weapon, because I don't trust myself not to just hero myself using this weapon. Winter says, I'm playing Half-Life 2 beta version right now. It's actually really interesting. Beta versions of stuff are always really interesting to play. Especially if you know you're all about that game. Like getting a hold of like the Doom betas and stuff for me. I can imagine that's just like that for you. Fucking A, man. Love Ravenholm. Need to write a story about that. I agree. Maybe even a song to go with it. Fuck your Half-Life VR. Look, there is nothing like it. Actually standing in Ravenholm while that pipe slams back and forth and the skinless zombies are climbing and howling. Oh. God, I need me an actual VR set of my own. This poor system. Help me. Oof. Shadow and Friend says, I'm getting Star Wars Dark Empire vibes from this game? Interesting. Oh, perhaps you mean Dark Forces. Because this ran about that well on the Sony PlayStation, but you know what? I played it anyway. I love me some Dark Forces. I thought that was going to end very badly. Phil says, don't want to promise anything, Winters, but we're feeling real close to Half-Life 3, given actual credible rumors and leaks that all predicted the new Steam hardware. Still, man, still, I don't know. I don't know. I have a real hard time believing it. I would love to be wrong, though. Love to be wrong. Winters says, what did I just say? Oh, you'll love the experience when I put you through it. You'll love it. Even SNES Doom is smoother. It is. Like, it's more consistent, and it even has, like, more game. More accurate game, too. Like, this is actually a really good example. Here, the geometry is simplified for, you know, the sake of the console, but in the Super Nintendo, that vertical drop is there. That vertical pit in the middle of this platform is there. Not here. Interesting. Interesting. Oh my god, keep moving. Keep moving. Get going. Oh my god. The bob is so fierce on this. Carnivorous Giraffe says, I'm not buying any of the Half-Life 3 leaks until it's announced. You've heard us too many times, Valve. I don't know. I can think of a bunch of companies that have definitely disappointed me much more than Valve ever has. But I understand. Ow. Ooh, that was almost disastrous. Now, I just want the ammo from up here. I don't actually want the secret exit. God, imagine paying like 1990s money for a 3DO. Now that's like 400. It would be like, you know, like a PS5 Pro, right? Imagine getting a PS5 Pro and this is how your deluxe version of Doom runs. Oh, that cost must have really, really pissed people off in the 90s. Carnivore says, oh, it's specific to Half-Life 3. I see. I mean, they've had a bunch of really good jokes, yes. Maybe I just don't think I've ever really expected it to ever happen, so it's funnier to me. I don't feel like my feelings are being manipulated. Badly as I need closure on that anecdote. Winter says Molasses Doom 3DO exclusive. That's right. You too can pay an absolute fortune compared to a Super Nintendo and own this slideshow. The Super Nintendo even has more levels and more bosses. It's incredible, really. This one is mostly powered by a salvaged Jaguar code port. That, since John Carmack was the one who coded it, it was nice and clean, and that was a giant boon to Becky's progress getting through this port. Phil says, the recent documentary even had Episode 3 gameplay shown for the first time. That's incredible, actually. That's something I assume would always stay behind closed doors. Because why would they ever show that to anybody? You're only making the hype worse. Of course, you might actually be arguing that's the point, and why it might actually be real this time. Fair argument. Fair argument. Carnivorous says, oh, I believe it's been in development, probably for a record-breaking amount of time. I mean, how long was Duke stuck in development hell? And that was a disaster. Well, see, compared to Duke, there's two possible ways that that the theoretical release of Half-Life 3 could do. And because the length of dev time was similar, it could work either Duke Nukem Forever, we know how that went, or Doom 2016. It's one or the other, nothing in between. Stairs just crush this thing. Phil says, I feel like Duke Forever issue was ultimately Randy Grease. You're right. You're right. He's the reason Duke is consistently done so dirty. I would love to somehow see Nukem returned to Apogee. But no! Oh my god, look at this version try! Do-do-do-do. At least the music's good. Oh my god! Oh boy. Wait, there's a backpack back here. Wait, I was already in there. I just forgot once I started dealing with these guys. Jesus. Again, we're just in episode 1 so far, guys. Winter says, oh lord, it's trying so hard. It's the little engine that could. Mostly. Chugga 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 choo choo. Pray for Mojo. I don't think prayers are gonna be enough for Mojo. Get him! Oh my god. Pray for Mojo indeed. Oh, I love this solo they added. Wow, I usually have like way less health at this point. I turned the difficulty up. Oh, turn so slowly. The more we eliminate, the more frame rate we can claw back. I'll come back for that secret. I should clear out this hallway first. Phil says, I wouldn't expect Half-Life 3 to be the amalgamation of decades of development, given they probably only just started the most recent post-build Alex release. Well, that's understandable. And, I don't think Nukem Forever, well, is kind of that, because, you know, the way that they kept changing up the engine and stuff, well, no, I suppose that is just repeated iteration. Yeah, I guess you're right. I suppose Doom is more similar to that, because during its transition to 2016, there was like a whole like Call of Doom build that they threw out before starting again. So, you know, it wasn't a total amalgamation of the 11 some odd years that Doom 2016 spent being developed. There was a come to Jesus moment and the game totally changed. And we are all the better for it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Nukem just needed to come out sooner. That pre-alpha build or whatever they're building, based off of like one of the ones that was shown off in a much earlier engine that fans are finishing themselves, looks amazing. Which just says, oh man, I've never seen this far, and the Cyberdemon must be awful. And yeah, the OST for this is actually pretty good. I wonder how deep into the code sounds. We're gonna find out. I plan on getting there. Which means I probably should start using the run button. Ah! Oh no! Wow, now that should have been my end. Phil says, can't you reduce the resolution of this in this version of the game to that postage stamp to claw back some frame rate? I can. I absolutely can. But you know what? That is in no shape, way, or form how this version of the game was ever represented or advertised. It was only ever shown with the full image. But, nope, don't need that. There we go. We just put that little postage stamp size filter on. Yeah. No. We're going with the as advertised for its maximum glory. Carnivorous says, how do you wow people with Half-Life 3? Story, action, impressive physics, and graphics aren't gonna cut it. Well, the thing about that is, the people you gotta please most are the people who are hinging on the story. And I don't have a good answer for you there. But I agree with you. Those things just aren't gonna cut it. I should have went back for that soul sphere and stuff, but whatever. Whatever. Love what they did to this music. Phil says, Valve has a knack of showing new tech in interesting ways. Thus why Episode 3 was dead in the water, when they ran out of technical ideas. They have no idea what they might have in mind for Half-Life 3. Me either. I mean, what if it was like, going to like really, really use all of the Steam appendages, like the deck, the new VR, whose name is escaping me right now. Lots of wrong words are coming to mind. And the machine. Like, something that would be aiming to take advantage of all of these things in tandem. Somehow. I have no idea how that would possibly be, but, you know, you gotta go big. You'd have to go big. Or find some way to combine them in an interesting way. I don't know. You're exactly right, though, in what you say. Woo! Phil says, but yeah, I think the real reason people have held out hope for so long is the story. You can't just end on a cliffhanger like they did. Exactly! We're all laying on that cliff's edge just like, oh my god, what? What? No, you can't do this to us! We've been so good! I need closure on that anecdote! Really badly! Oh my god, just get on the ledge! Come to me, Yellow Key. Now this time we're not going to forget about any of those Soul Sphere secrets that I know. Oh my god! You can do it! You can do it! God! Here the single barrel shotgun is having the same kind of recovery time as the super shotgun? Incredible. Phil says, honestly, I would love to see Valve reinvent something old in the form of enemy AI. We haven't seen any massive leaps in enemy AI in a long time. That's very true. I think the last major leap that I remember seeing, or at least reading about, was that that system that they have in Shadow of Mordor that they copyright and now don't ever use in anything else. That was the last time I remember hearing enemy AI be, like, truly, like, step forward interesting. That might be an interesting way to go. Reinventing some old AI. Make the Combine soldiers even more horrifying than they already are. Hell, you could do that real simply in like a new kind of like Half-Life side game, you know? Like, say you play as a citizen during the 17-hour war. That would be a neat little side. Alex says, oh boy, Half-Life 3. The only game people won't shit on as hard if it's bad. That's debatable. I think they'll still shit pretty hard on it if it's bad. You know, if it comes out and it's real and it's bad, like that's gonna hurt so many people. That is definitely gonna have some kind of effect. Don't know if it'll have quite the same media coverage as the giant Michael Rooker in the new Call of Duty is getting right now. Excuse me. Phil says, hell, the AI in Half-Life 1 felt better than the Combine in Half-Life 2. That's fair. There's a lot of room for improvement on the Combine. Oh, people will shit on it. YouTube is already bloated with "it's no masterpiece" videos from contrarians. Here's 100 reasons why Breath of the Wild is shit, actually. I am very smart. Yeah, I see more than my fair share of those. Thankfully, I don't watch very many of them. I think I'd feel myself getting dumber by the second. This is the worst idea to pick up one of these here. This thing is running bad enough. Oh, right, I don't have that key. Carnivorous says, if Half-Life 3 sucks, I will have no problem letting them know. That you and countless others. Countless others. Oh, so the fucking blast radius works through the wall now. Okay. That's pretty cool. That didn't even do that much damage. Every little bit helps, though. Really like the subtle instrumentation in the back. Like that little fade out they had was nice. Phil says, Elden Ring is the worst game ever, and FromSoft is dead, because they took out runbacks from Dark Souls. Exactly. That's the same kind of person that complains about, like, wave dashing and shit. I don't think they ever actually have fun with the things that they play. Oh, that's a bit too big a chance to take. Oh, being surrounded by shotgun sergeants and an explosive barrel? That should have ended a lot worse. I'm glad that it didn't. I get it, though. You know, your favorite series, it shits in your mouth. You feel not so great about it. Like Skyward Sword. I fucking hate that game. But obviously, I play lots of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, so Zelda's not dead. Oh my god! Though it did take A Link Between Worlds to restore my faith in Zelda again. How lucky am I that not a single bad Doom game has ever come out? Alex says, how the Dark Ages failed, and then proceeds to have fun while still whine. It's exactly right. Like, unless it's 100% to them, it's, you know, it's just the worst thing ever. I don't get that. Obviously, I very much enjoy the Dark Ages. Up you go. We need that armor if we're to keep bombing through this. Almost there. Oh wait, no, I don't have that blue key yet, so I can't take that shortcut. I have to take the long cut. I didn't hit the switch to open that. How tragic. Can we do it before the rad suit runs out? No. Fine. We had tons of health anyway. Oh my god. Keep going. Keep going. Of course, there's a meme for that I saw that's really good. That's basically somebody has like some crazy like 1,000 hours of something in Steam or 2,000 hours. And they leave a review going, it's okay. Phil asks, ready for Expedition 33 to sweep the video awards? Oh, are those on tonight? I completely lost track. I mean, I guess. Well, you know what? It would be a good thing if they did, because, you know, AAA needs to suffer. It just does. I forgot what nomination category I saw Ball Pit in for, but I hope they got the nomination for something. I hope they win something. So that is one seriously addicting game. But honestly, Devolver keeps a pretty stacked production house, it seems. Everything they publish that I've gotten is something that I've really enjoyed. Alex says, to be honest, the Dark Ages game loop started to grow on me more than Eternal due to the sheer options you have to kill. That's the thing. Like, it's a very, very different system. And now, especially with that update that allows you to change your melee and runes with D-pad or whatever you want to bind it to, instead of having to go to a menu to change those things, it's become so much more dynamic. Now you're not just focusing on just two weapon combos, you know? And you see high-end runs of people doing Doom Eternal. Everybody does PB Ballista. Or, yeah, PB Rocket. And I'm like, that's boring. And anyone who changes up more is not playing efficiently enough. But now there's so much you can do to just build and stack. There's a lot to it, and the more I played it, the more it grew on me. Exactly correct. Carnivore says, negativity gets lots of views. People suck. I agree, people do suck. And it's a shame that ends up being correct, in that the negativity draws people in. Because it does seem to. Some people are just addicted to that kind of content. And it ain't doing them favors. Now, do they have the light amp here, or am I remembering that wrong? Nope, they don't. They took that out. Next month. Oh, okay. Alex says, I'm a die-hard Eternal fan with almost 500 hours. It's rookie numbers, son. You gotta boost those up. But the Dark Ages is such a step up. If only they could combine them. Make you an agile tank. Now that is something that, you know, you can actually still be really, really agile in the Dark Ages. Like, at first I was lamenting the loss of the meat hook as a means of locomotion, until I realized the shield ram is the meat hook. Like, there's so much range you can get out of that, that it is a legit means of traversal. Get something a little bit more vertical than you can zip right out of there. Happened recently, I was in a pit surrounded by a couple of things, and then I just saw a fodder or something just on like a lip of a cliff. So I shield rammed up to him, escaped the thing that I was trapped by, and just kept wrecking shit. Phil says, but nominations came out recently. Ball Pit is nominated for Best Indie. Sadly, it's up against Silksong. Oh, so R.I.P. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Ball Pit deserves so much more accolades. But putting it against something like Silksong, I get it. It's unfortunate, but I get it. But, you know, at least it's losing to something like Silksong and not like The Last of Us. Oh, I barged in here too quickly. Alright, good enough. We'll take it. Alex says, one thing I hate with Eternal is how I can't swap as fast as I want to. The weapon wheel, although needed, is fucked up. See, that's why I became so addicted to playing Eternal on my Steam Deck, and why I want the Steam controller so badly. Because I can... Oh, hold on. Because since we're not using the Steam Deck, these back buttons mean everything in Doom Eternal to me now. Because, I mean, yeah, you get your quick swap that you can have bound to your, like, upper shoulder button, right? But with those, you can bound, like, just straight up, like, weapons. So you can change up your combos. Now, I've got my back ones are Ballista. No, my upper right is Chain Gun, Ballista, Super Shotgun, Rocket Launcher. So I can just combo these however I want while opening up further combos occasionally with my weapon wheel. It's impossible to feel like I'm playing good going back to not having those buttons. But now that Steam's coming out with the controller that will finally suit my needs, I'm excited. I am so excited. Oh my god. Chug along, little 3DO. Oh my god! Could I whiff those shots any harder? The answer is probably yes. Phil says, Bonanza got a Game of the Year nomination, which is my personal Game of the Year. But I know 33 is going to win, given how much glowing things I've heard about it. But as long as Hackjima's latest walking sim doesn't win, we both know that's a real possibility that it might. Because of course it would. Of fucking course it would. Huh. I suppose, yeah, my Game of the Year has to be the Dark Ages. Honorable mention to Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. And of course, Ball Pit. And fucking runaway success at nearly the end of the year, even though we're... No, I suppose we're at the end of November. We're getting near the end of the year. Kingdoms of the Dump just comes out of nowhere and just does it for me. Just does it for me. The Last of Us 8. Oh my god, don't joke, Carnivorous. They'll do it. They'll do it. And that'll be like the 8th version of the first game again. Alex says, The Last of Us 8 remake direct creator's cut. Please, gosh, can they let it die or make something new? I don't know if Druckmann's ready to do that. He's still content being miserable. And not allowing things to be fun. I'm not even being facetious there. Those are things he said in interviews. Things like, we don't use fun when talking about games. Okay, why should anyone play anything you make if you're devoted to making a misery simulator. Jeff has a hard-on for Kojima, so it's a real risk. I think it's the biggest risk. The single biggest risk. Yeah, fuck that. We're doing the shortcut. Oh, no, we're fucking up. Stop fucking up. Get in there. I honestly keep forgetting that Death Stranding 2 has a or is a sequel. I just keep assuming it's more of the first game that just keeps existing and permeating somehow. I don't know anyone who actually plays this game. Alex says, I'm buying a game, not DLC too. I must scream, but I have no mouth. Yeah, they'll milk it. They're just gonna keep milking it. We're almost done episode 1. I think we've got one more level after this. I can't wait to see how much all those specters and barons just choke this system. I think the last time I played through this particular version, like earnestly, was when I was on the hype train for Doom 2016 originally coming out. I played through every single version of the game I had, back to back to back to back. And it was a lot of fun. And then the fact that Doom 2016 was fucking amazing was just the cherry on the cake. Phil says, I even forgot Death Stranding 2 existed until I saw it got nominated. Yeah, right? Like, when I see people talk about Death Stranding now, I'm like, they're talking about DLC. Or they're still somehow, some way talking about the first game, not a whole-ass sequel that came out. What's Death Stranding even about? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Something Norman Reedus, box delivery man, drink Monster energy drink. That's like the beginning and end of my understanding of Death Stranding. Oh, also weird like interdimensional babies that you keep with you in like external baby jugs, I guess? I don't know. Who knows what's going on in that man's mind? I don't even think he does most of the time. Where the fuck are you guys coming from? Winter says, I have the Death Stranding version of the PS4 console, but not the game. Well, as I understand, you got a sick deal on that too. Never turn down a console with high storage capacity. Phil says, no one is actually talking about that game, but it got nominated for the Kojima factor. Senpai noticed me. Yeah, that's Jeff's thing, though. He's got an irrefutable crush. It's pretentious nonsense for the sake of being pretentious nonsense. Yeah, that's just most of Kojima's thing. So, like, that could literally be anything of his catalog. Any part of it. Carnivorous says, I heard it described as the guy from The Walking Dead plays a single father that has to walk to Mexico while he fights ghosts. That's as good a summary as any that I've seen. It makes more sense than anything I've read, that's for sure. I've seen some people, they rename it to Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus, which is honestly much more descriptive than Death Stranding. You can do it! Godspeed, little doodle! Oh my god, these rockets! I don't want to pick up that soul sphere immediately. It's a waste. Whatever. There's no choice. It's in my way. God, these rockets. They're in such slow motion. I suppose everyone's got to be all woke up or some shit. Whatever. Everyone's running at, like, such a speed. You can hear the chain gun just slowing down. You can do it. Chew them up. Now, we gotta switch back to that. Because we have a big old group we gotta take out. Whenever says it's funny that such a massive game with a huge following can exist in the gaming sphere, we have absolutely no clue what it's about. Isn't that the most amazing thing? Like, genuinely, that is mind-boggling. I think that's just the way things are. We isolate ourselves on our weird little cultural islands. And I mean, that's how you end up with, like, people like me who are like, I don't know shit about Minecraft. And that's probably alien to a great deal of my viewers. Like, how do you not know Minecraft? All I know is, the few times that I did try to play it, I just tried to dig to the center of the earth. Then I moved on to different games. Alex says, oh yeah, what's your least top 3 favorite weapon on Doom of all time? Your least? Hold on. What just opened behind me? Okay, it's just you. Top three least favorite weapon. Okay, so my worst 3. So I'm just gonna say you're probably asking what my 3 least favorites are. 3 least favorites. Okay, there is one from Doom 2016's multiplayer called the Hell Shot. And the reason I don't care for that is because it feels like Halo 2's battle rifle, which I like, but Halo 2's battle rifle doesn't belong in a Doom game, so it feels weird, alien, and wrong to me. The second least favorite. Probably the grabber from Resurrection of Evil. Because in every single case in which it should be useful, like returning projectiles and trading fire that way, I would rather just outshoot the enemy. And lastly, the king of my least favorite weapons is Doom Eternal's Unmaker. I fucking hate that gun. It is so worthless. It's a disservice to the original Unmaker. The idea that you put in that much effort for a game, for a gun that sucks that much is a war crime. That shit should be illegal. And the one time that gun was fun, when you were able to pick up haste and ammo was infinite for the Unmaker but not the BFG, like, all right, Now this weapon has a fun use. And then Hugo's like, fun zone! And that was taken out. So at no point did it ever have a reasonable amount of ammunition to shoot, the way the original did. Then they're like, oh, well, it's actually more efficient if you, on ammo, if you hit all of your beams on a single barrel. Bitch, if I'm pulling out a power weapon like the BFG or the Unmaker, it's not for a single target. It's to tell the room to quiet down. I need a bit more than a precision aim with a fucking spread gun. Like, oh, the weapon infuriates me. Phil says, also not a fan of the ballista in Eternal. Really? Are you serious? The ballista's like a workhorse for me. What don't you think about the ballista? I'm very curious about that. Alex says, I'm not a fan of Eternal's combat shotgun, except the sticky bomb, the soul cube, and the heavy rifle from 2016. Interesting. Interesting. Now, the, outside of the sticky bomb, I think you need to give the auto launcher more of a chance. Now, you can actually make use of that as early as level 1 if your hands can dance across the controller quickly enough. When you're fighting an Arachnotron on the first stage, for example, you can sticky bomb his turret, which will take out the turret and then stun him, but as soon as that sticky lands, start switching your mods. By the time his stun is almost wore off, you're ready to go with the full auto, and then you just force feed it to him. You put him in glory kill state so quickly, and that works on all kinds of other demons too. It's a lot of damage, and if you're using it against rows of fodder, or you land a kill against a heavy or super heavy, they drop shotgun ammo, keeping that party going. I find the sticky much more eminently useful, but the full auto is very useful, especially if you pair it with the sticky. Like, your swapping in that case should be among mods, not from combat shotgun to different weapon. The soul cube I can understand. It's absolutely a means of survival if you're playing on Doom 3's Nightmare, though, where your health is constantly counting down, so you need a ready place to replenish from. But, gimmicks, don't feel it. But the heavy rifle from 2016, I dug that gun. Loved the way it sounded, but the thing that really did it for me was when you got the micro missiles fully perked up and it just became a missile hose. Like, that was just so satisfying to use. Oh, right, I didn't get that key yet. Phil says, I forgot the Unmaker existed. Never equipped that trash a second time. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. It is such a garbage tier weapon. It's the king of the trash. Ugh. Alex says, the Unmaker makes me feel okay about using it because the BFG gives me IRL pain when I use it. I didn't mean to use this much power. Phil says, I like the alt fires of the railgun in Doom more. I felt like the alt fire for Ballista and Doom Eternal was just a suicide button. When you're talking about the Destroyer Blade, that feels correct. I find the Arbalest a lot more flexible in that case. I have yet to be able to really touch on a way to use the Destroyer Blade in a way that doesn't get me killed most of the time either. That was lucky. He was just about to end my face. Alex is true, but I wish it had a bit more punch and sounds punchy like the shotguns in the previous games. That's fair. That's fair. The shell doesn't sound as thunderous. I can get that. Carnivorous says, could do an entire run of Doom 2016 with just the micro missiles. It's true. They're a very, very effective thing to deal with so much. And they're actually like the primary weakness of like the Hell Guardian twins. You bust that thing out, you annihilate them. Like, it's almost rude how quickly you deplete their life. Oh my god. Come on, 3DO, it's just the computer station. It's almost the end of the episode, you can do it. Oh my god. Alex says, if I for real had master level Ultra Nightmare runs, and the moment I used the BFG I reset it out of pride and shame. I understand that. I do. It takes a lot to force me to use the BFG, and I'm always pretty angry when I do. But sometimes, it's just fun to punish the Bojangles out of a whole room. Which is actually something I would like to see, a minor change I would like to see in the Dark Ages. I would like to see BFC ammo marked on the map the way it's marked in Eternals, so that I can check my map and see if, you know, if I can spend a round or so. Because that might make some encounters, like when you're fighting, for example, a leader Komodo. You're just like, you know, I just want to... and then just tell him to sit down. Then I can just pick up that round later. The real trick there, I suppose, was just be get good and memorize the levels. The way you memorized every other Doom game's levels. This fire rate! Phil says we've hit perfect dark without expansion pack levels. It's true. It's true. And we're not even out of episode 1 yet. This is unbelievable. I was so glad to have had that expansion. Well, I suppose when I bought my Perfect Dark, it came with the expansion pack. That was just in there. But of course, you know, you had to try it once without the expansion pack just to see. Alex says, wait, leader Komodos are a thing? I thought only heavy enemies could be leaders. Oh, no, no, no. Not in the newest update. In the new stuff that they've done to the Repertorium, you ever fight a leader acolyte? That's a pain in the ass. I suppose acolytes are heavies, but Komodos are super heavies. But yeah, you can make anything that's heavy and up leader. Komodos absolutely count. Oh my god. I can hear the laser in my 3DO just pew 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 pew. It's trying so hard. And run! Be free! Soon we'll hit Perfect Dark warehouse levels of frame rate. If we haven't been there already, I suppose. Oh my god, just go! Crap, 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 crap. That's okay. If we just keep moving fast, we can bull rush our way to the boss. If we can push our way past the frame rate, which is a bigger threat than all of the demons. Go, damn it, go! Oh, right! 2 for 1 that I didn't even plan for! Oh my god. Oh my god. You can do it! You can do it, 3DO! I believe in you! Oh my god, God! My god, that barrel explosion sound was like 2 seconds behind. Or rather, the action was 2 seconds behind the actual... Oh my god, this disconnect is stupendous. Alex says, this lag is messing with my brain when typing as my last laptop was laggy. Yes, you must tell yourself this is not the fault of your computer. This is the struggle of the 3DO. Oh my god, the laser. Pew, 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 pew. Almost there. Almost there. Wow, that fireball was like, what, 4 frames a second? I like how as soon as the door was the only thing visible, I got performance back for a split second. Alright, Barons of Hell, now's your time. Once again, absolutely stellar soundtrack arrangement. Hey, you're supposed to be a soul sphere, not armor. That's supposed to be fair. You know what? I needed the armor more than the health. Nope. I'm faster than you. Can't step too far off. Don't want to alert too many at once. Oh no! Oh no! I have to leave. I'm getting flanked. What do you mean the Barons aren't free yet? That should not be. Shouldn't let myself get backed into a corner either. Stop whiffing shots, Professor. Didn't even see him get into my butt. When that door opened, it was literal 5 FPS. It's doing its very best. The lags as soon as I start switching weapons. It lags every time I switch. You can do it. You can do it. My god, I'm gonna end up ganking myself on the wall. All right. We're witnessing a computer aneurysm. Basically, yes. That is exactly what you're witnessing. Its best is bad, and it should feel bad. I'm sure it does. No, don't switch to that. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, why aren't you walking over that? Space bugs or something. Oh my god! So it turns out Doom 3 was not the first Doom game to introduce wind up to the chain gun. Oh my god. Help computer. Stop all the downloading. That's exactly what's happening. Help computer. Oh, this is pretty great. Starting episode 2 with my guns from the previous episode instead of taking them away from me? Fucking right. If I've been in that water, dead. I miss those so much. Whenever says it's the only version of Doom that offers real-time fire as your computer bursts into flames. I can hear the machine struggling so hard. But that's why it was important for me to do this version authentically, on original hardware. Pardon me. Right, we just have their attention. Oh, that means the chain... not the chain gun. The plasma gun's gonna be super easy to get. This gun costs 1 frame to shoot. Basically. God. Well, this is stage 1 of episode 2. We're definitely continuing with trends. Music again, just going off the shits being good. Okay, no, it is rotating. For a second, I thought the frames got locked or they weren't, you know, going in sequence. Wait, both of those hit? No, I knew there wasn't. All right, now. Gotta get that plasma rifle. Because that's gonna make a big difference in our ability to start smashing through these last few levels. Carnivorous says, what the fuck is happening with this song? I told you, they just go fucking ham salad. That extra like 4 or 5 frame drop because it had to think about how the Cacodemon was gonna shoot. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Winter says, what a spastic version of it. This is probably like Coffee 20 deep into the night somewhere over the course of these 10 weeks of development that this game had. Oh my god, just go for it. I will gladly take those targets easily up there. Hey, look at that. Regular performance. Because we're in a box room. Just a box. Phil says, this era of CD quality audio. Example, the CD versions of Earthworm Jim. The music is so good. Makes the SNES and Genesis sound like crap. That's what I'm saying. This soundtrack almost justifies some of this. But like, could you imagine like if this one, again, like if this version had time to cook so it actually had performance with this soundtrack? That would be absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar. Winter says, personally, I love the SNES sound card for Doom. I think it works really well. It certainly does the music a lot of favors in remixes. Certainly more than it did the 32X. That poor thing's sound chip, inelegant, we'll say. Never says, oh shit, Earthworm Jim, I gotta check that out if the OST is different than the Sega. That's right. You should be checking that out, because that music is... it's good. It's very, very good. Winter says, if Earthworm Jim wasn't so damn hard, down the tubes. Oh yeah, with the friggin' oxygen thing, and you're trying to prevent your bubble from shattering? Yeah, that's where my last serious attempt at the game ended too. I says, yeah, that level's a great filter. It accomplished the job. I don't think I ever actually beat the first one. I did beat the second one, though. Because, yeah, at no point did I ever pass down the tubes. Ever. There's so much reverb in this guitar, it's ridiculous. There's enough to contain the forces of hell. No more, no less. Yay, one shell left. Carnivore says, I can beat down the tubes easily. My kid thinks I'm a wizard. Have you considered you might be? Because you just might be. This music is for the Slough of Despair. Why is it in the containment area? This is not even close to the right place. No, no. A rapid-fire weapon that shoots my own projectiles. The laser is going to struggle so much. Phil says, yeah, you can find the CD quality OST on the YouTubes. Yeah, that stuff's much easier to find now. If anything, we can be thankful for that. The second one is easier for sure. Yes, for, like, proper reasons. Proper reasons. I mean, it does still have a lot of really challenging parts, but nothing near as filtery as Down the Tubes. Like those sections where you're floating around as the blinded salamander. That kind of reminds me of Down the Tubes, but those levels I found a lot more manageable than Down the Tubes. Carnivore says, I spent hours learning that maze. I played that game religiously. Now see, now that I understand. I've got a similar relationship with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. I just love playing that game. I never really stopped. And as such, I can beat it pretty much every time I try to play it. Some playthroughs are a little bit more harrowing than others, but I always come out through on the other side. So people get thwarted by the dam, I'm like, oh, you don't even know the Technodrome. Winter says, is this the only version where you see the full-size versions of weapon sprites and still have the HUD? Yes, actually. Wait. The PlayStation... Wait, no. Yes, the PlayStation lets you see this much of the chain gun, but not as much of the handgun or shotgun. And then there's ports like the GBA or Windows 95 that show less of the gun. It's like the graphic is lowered a bunch for some reason. Also, no. The Super Nintendo version still has the HUD and still shows us the full weapon sprites. Like this back of the plasma rifle that we don't normally see. more of the shotgun stock, more of the BFG, etc. And of course the chain gun. Carnivorous is same. I'm a ninja at Andy Asteroids. Goddamn cheating Psychro. He is a cheating bastard. Andy Asteroids is a fun course, though. Whoa! Ah, closed-in box room. 3DO can handle closed-in boxes. I gotta stop. Ah, it's the friggin' run button and weapon switch button being so close to each other. Get up there! Alex says, you know, I almost forgot about this, but I had a random dream where you were playing Resident Evil with somebody. How Hugo plays in his stream, but every damn second you were mentioning Men's Cave. That's the worst kind of shill ever. Whoa, Nelly! Groovy! I also liked the cows at the end stages that'd be like, well done. And then you hit different buttons, it's like, well done, well done, well done. Alex says, would you like to kill 3 Gyarados and talk a bit about the product? Because that definitely would be the way to go about it. That's so funny. There's so... Oh, wait, no, you guys... Aw, crap, I thought they were going to get all jammed up on each other. These fireballs, I've got like 3 to 5 business days to get out of the way. Man, I really need more shells. I also really need to stop missing so broadly. Surely the 3DO can handle a box-shaped room, right? On a good day, maybe. This box seems pretty okay. This box is less okay. It has other boxes inside, you see. Extra box management. It's still so weird to hear Episode 3 music in Episode 2. I think I can get shells going back down this way? Yeah, that seems right. Oh, I was already through here. I see the problem. Oh yeah, and that area doesn't exist in this version. That's the other thing I'm hung up on. That'll do it. Let's get some rocket launcher action here. Alex says, the experience was quite weird as I barely remember dreams. Oh, that would be extra weird. Just like, why that one of all ones? That's hilarious. The boxes are assembled in Flint, Michigan. That's exactly why we're having a hard time with these boxes. They're probably like radioactive or some shit. I heard that. And you're some schmo working at a box factory. Get that soul sphere, you only get one shot at that one. Then that secret doesn't come back down. It's inconvenient. Alright. Now, we're done with this level. Would you stop switching guns? Oh. I forgot. I was completely out of shells. Don't need that other part. Now, there's gotta be another place I can get me some shells. Wait, that's in a different version of the game. What about... Wait, is that gone too? Oh yeah, I guess it is. Okay. I guess we don't do that. Marge, I have some terrible, bone-chilling news! My word, Homer, what? Hey, that's my lucky red hat on top of a box. Nothing. A box, damn you! A box! I know it's not the same episode, but oh, thank God, whoever invented permission slips. I think that was the one they lost Ooter. Shouldn't they do that cutaway just before he gets beaten in the street? Then later on, there's that meeting you just pass by in Skinner's office where the parents are just like, we just want to know, where is Uta? Why aren't you coming back down? Do you also only come back down once? Okay, I guess we only had one shot to pick up that plasma ammo. Alright, that is fine. That is just fine. Alright, that whole section's gone too. Here's your credit card. Oh man, I should have saved the mint till later. I wonder if the next track is misplaced as well. Oh, I really need some shells. I should have had the mint first. Still catching up. God bless that YouTube lag. Refinery, refinery. That is 100% not the right music for this. Isn't it weird that Ooter is missing and now we're eating this weird mystery meat called Ooter-Rotten? You might say. We've eaten Ooter and he's inside us. Wait, no, don't say that. They're trying to learn for free. Get them! We're about a mile out. Students, begin braking procedure. Oh shit, we're really down to that? I really gotta get the shit in this room. Maybe. Do we got infighting here? Aw, crap. I did not mean to trigger that suit that early. I kinda need that. Alright, fine. Just start cooking. And the cacos. The most important part of the cookout. Alright, now we gotta start saving some of that ammo. Excuse me, Mr. Rude. Flanking me in the back while I have my hands full, dick. Right, we gotta move. We got to move. Winter says, this entire channel could be us doing a Simpsons episode line by line. It's true. It's true. At least, you know, stuff from the first 10 seasons. I.e. the best stuff. Yeah, we definitely need that armor. I certainly hope I remember to get shells. Now that I've wasted that rad suit, that was good of me. Ooh, actually, we can make myself a nice little path to victory here at the exit, because they're going to get in the way if I don't. Phil says, it could if YouTube would stop eating my comments. YouTube's got a thing for your comments specifically, it seems. You're not the only one experiencing weird, arbitrary YouTube censorship, but it seems to come up for you the most. And you know, who knows over what? It could be the most stupidest, unthinkable thing. Like how somebody at one point was having trouble because YouTube didn't like the way he was spelling cheeks. Because cheeks is a very offensive word somewhere, maybe. Hell yes. Well, let's just hang on to our cell ammo now, that's for sure. Phil says, twice now I've tried to quote the use your phony guns as clubs to test to see if it's the G word that's causing it. Ah, you know what? I didn't even consider that. Not even a little bit, but you know what? I could see them pulling that out over something like that. It's stupid, but clearly you've censored one letter. I know what it is. And perhaps that really was the trouble word. So now we know guns and cheeks are very bad things, apparently. All hail our omnipotent overlords in our increasingly Blade Runner-like platforms. I think there's more cells up this way, at least. Can't say I would have thought to put horns in there, but interesting. Too many texture changes. Must destroy frame rate. Phil says, weird that the word guns is getting censored, even though, given the game you're playing. You know what's even funnier? You just spelled the word just fine, and it appeared just fine. So, oh no, I can't use guns like that ever stopped me. And again, it's fine for Alex, and yeah, now feels like not censored here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah. Nobody gets it. I don't think anybody's meant to get it. Wait, I didn't get the blue key somehow. Oh, jeez, I really did just walk right past it. Dummy. Lol, YouTube AI. Nobody's talking about cheeks in here, are they? They might be. The AI is on the hunt. Phil says, maybe YouTube concluded I quoted Simpsons too many times today. There is no such thing as the thing you just said. I was about to be like, shame we still can't, like, post, like, images and stuff in the chat. I'm like, it would be like 90% Frinkiac, and that's fine. That sounds like a great place to be. Trying not to use all those. Now, do we have bullets? We picked up bullets yet? 55. That's really not that great. Okay. Okay. We're gonna cut through this. Now, is that the way? Are you gonna take me to the Fortress of Mystery? Alright, now that we can make it, and more importantly, we can get some very, very much needed recovery, health. You're not the secret exit, are you? No, you're not. That's the Super Nintendo version where the secret exit is. Perfect. Not even gonna bother spending the complete ammunition. Get out of my way. There. Alex says, oh right, why couldn't they allow picks? I bet it would only be for premium. I think that would probably be a little bit harder for them to enforce their arbitrary censorship rules too. But who knows? Could be a bandwidth thing, could be a server thing. Are you kidding me? The music for the hangar in the Demos lab? What? What? Who is this? My God, this is so wrong. Phil says the frame rate certainly warrants a Frinkiac of Krusty with a cigarette in the mouth pre. What the hell was that? Just after Worker and Parasite. Yeah, that's it. Of course, right now I'm making that very same face. I'm like, who arranged these tracks? This is not even remotely supposed to be here. I can't wait to see what else is where. This is fantastic. Okay, there's bullets up there. I might get some good use out of that. Probably have to use some rockets to get it. Hell yeah! And there's the bullets I came up here for. And shells. Even better. Okay. Now we're back. Now we're back and good. Winter says, I could have pulled a better cartoon out of a... Hey, kids! Fucking Worker and Parasite was one of the best bits. Out of hell with you guys. Oh, now you're coming to find me. Slow-mo. Most of the time. Most of the time. Oh, right. I can use this part. Because this isn't a crusher. Because of all the ports of Doom 1, the Super Nintendo is the only one that put crushers in. Alright, back to shotguns. We're spending way too much plasma. Oh yeah, fucking 68 shells. We gotta be spending this stuff again. Phil says, I have a Worker and Parasite t-shirt somewhere. That is fantastic. Somewhere I've got a Kent Brockman one with, it's that, what is it, McGriff? The dog, the crime dog. Bite Back. Somewhere I've got that. My brain still just cannot deal with hearing Hangar's music here. It's like, no, damn it. This is E1M1 and only E1M1. Not E2M4. What are you doing to us? Winter says, this frame rate is like when Homer calls the coach's hotline. In the game of sin. Cincinnati, sin. Cincinnati, nah. Cincinnati, T. Oh, don't you realize this is costing me money? Many things must be considered. Wind direction. Oh, Jesus. That hang was so bad, I was like, oh shit, are we gonna crash? Did I finally hit the threshold? Well, at least we got the blue key. Oh yeah, and no crushers, la-di-da. No, I don't want the rocket launcher. I want the shotgun with its 68 goddamn bullets to spend. I cannot believe that worked. A way to leave the cells up there, Dan. Good job. It's alright. We're almost done with this level anyway. If we can just make it. The frame rate will be fighting us every step of the way. I think the coach's hotline might be faster. You try to flank. There you go. Oh, hello, Mr. Baron, trying to flank me. Well, ow, my face, first of all. Second of all, too bad for you, I'm faster. Now, we just gotta find that hole in the floor. There we go. Now you lead. Ah, plasma ammo. Good, good. How about I just leave you guys alone? We'll just do it that way. I think it works much better. Nope. No thank you. I just need it back on that teleporter for a second. Don't fall in. There's no way out. Ah, it's not worth it. Just for an extra 3% health I'm probably going to waste anyway. Alright. Command Center, what music do you have? I don't recognize this one. Oh, it's fucking Nuclear Plant, E1M2. Again, not the right place for this music. God, we heard that a while ago. For some reason, the first episode took much longer. You can suck on that. Yes, it's coming back to me now. I'd commented on the funkiness. And it's good. It's just not the right level. But you know what, to be fair, this is not the only version of Doom to screw up music placement. The Game Boy Advance version, most of the game has the wrong soundtrack on the wrong track. And it's all offset by one level. So you'll start the game at E1M1, but you'll hear E1M2's music. Then you get to E1M2 and you get to hear E1M3's music, and then so on and so forth. It's not until about the last 4 or 5 levels of the game that stuff finally starts hitting the stages it's supposed to. It's super funny. This, however, is offset by much more than just one track. This is fascinating, is what this is. Phil says, I heard Command Center and expected Terran music from StarCraft 1. You would. I bet you would. I don't have nearly the StarCraft time under my belt, but I can totally see how that would ring that bell for you. How about all of you just be gone, be down, be dust. There we go. You know what? I'm not fucking with any of you. Ah, Barons. And fireballs with 5 to 7 business days worth of response time. Oh, hey, infighting. I think we can just push our way past them because the Barons can't fit through that doorway. That was incredibly costly. I'm pretty sure a Baron was on my ass. But I'm not opening that door to find out. Ooh, medkit, medkit, medkit. Though, Phil, since you mentioned StarCraft, I feel compelled to ask. Have you tried any RTSs that weren't made with controller in mind on your Steam Deck yet? Like StarCraft, for example. I know I need to get around to trying Warcraft 2 out. I've got the GOG file. Just haven't gotten around to installing it because there's just no shortage of things to play. Phil says the Terran themes in StarCraft 1 are so good. They should be on any of your playlists regardless of how little hours you played. You know what? You got me there. You absolutely do got me there. because I can still hum a lot of those musics pretty readily, so they should be up there. They should be up there. And to be fair, I did at least finish most of the first game. I finished the human campaign. I can't remember if I got really deep into or finished. No. Okay, yes, I'm thinking back now. Terran is the only campaign I finished. I couldn't remember who I was working away at next between the Protoss and the Zerg. It's been so long. Winter says, Heroes 3 works great on the deck. My favorite RTS game there. Well, fucking excellent. That is, if anything else, highly encouraging. Wasn't there something? Oh, right. No. I'm thinking of other versions of Doom. Mixing up my level layouts and geometry, as one does. That. Ow. I'm just seeing now, or just noticing now, like when you get hit like high damage, it's orange on the screen, despite being red everywhere else. That's neat. Either that or my TV just has like funky color balance, which is equally possible. Ow. Nope, not fucking with it. Not fucking with it. Well, I need that ammo. But now I need to run. I need to run. They're on my ass. Run. Get in there. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get in the door, Doom guy. Jeez. Well, says RTS? Yes. Back when the deck came out, I did try to play through a game called Tooth and Tail, but that one was made with a controller in mind. Okay, that's a little bit easier to adapt than something like what I was thinking between like StarCraft and Warcraft 2, and that is the Toxin Refinery, sir, not Halls of the Damned. This is the strangest time I have been in Halls of the Damned that I can recall. Alex has said, is it me, or is it lagging less? Or has my brain accepted 1 frames per some days? You might be adjusting. You might be adjusting to low frame rates. So maybe the Dark Ages on deck might be palatable for you now. Winter says, it does actually seem smoother. Well, that's because I was in a level that was a lot more closed in. And this one's a lot more closed in too, so it'll... There's that crunching jank in the big open spaces. Halls of the Toxin Refinery? Brain's having a hard time. Phil says, I've played a lot of mouse-only simulators like 2 Point Hospital and Timberborn. Got trackpad, lots of trackpad mileage out of those two. Ah, yeah. I was wondering if you were able to comfortably make use of those, or if you bothered fighting with thumbsticks, but that doesn't seem like something you would do. That's probably exactly where I would get all my trackpad usage, apart from, you know, finer aim increasing it sometimes, or desktop mode navigation. Well, it did. It did run smoother for a brief second, Winters. We saw it. We saw it. Ow. Phil says, also, I recently replayed through Pikmin 4, the best controller-based RTS. The best controller-based RTS. You know, to be honest, I'm not sure how many controller-based, genuinely controller-based RTSs I've actually played. I played the I played a console port. I can't remember if it was PlayStation or Saturn because it was at Microplay, but it was a console version of Warcraft 2, and it was one of the clunkiest things I'd ever played in my life. Oh yes, of course, StarCraft 64. I gotta include that. And that, it did the job. It gave me StarCraft on the 64, I guess. Halo Wars, I think, is the only other one I've played. And that's it. Phil says, well, series as a whole, Pikmin 3 is probably my favorite. I understand. It's like how I say the Resident Evil 1 remake is the definitive Resident Evil experience, but my favorite is OG Resident Evil 2. You must have played Halo Wars. Yes, I did, very briefly. Like, not too deep into the game. I remember playing it very briefly, but it never found its way into my library. Or that weird RTS Alien vs. Predator game. I have only heard about that game, but I've never actually played that one myself. It's been recommended to me, though. Can't remember what it's called. Command & Conquer on the Sega. Oh my god, I forgot about that! Oh shit. Oh my god. It just hit me now. Phil, you and I have both played an excellent controller-based RTS in Avianos. UFO 50. Or Avianos, or however you feel like pronouncing that. That one with that last bit for cherry requirement just making me crazy. God, Command & Conquer. It's been a hot minute since I thought of that. I don't think I've ever tried a console version of Command & Conquer, though. That, I'm pretty sure I've only played on PC. Yeah, I'll take that extra armor, thanks. That's not an RTS, that's a 4X game. Alright, fair enough. It's close. God, now I see this pattern texture. And my brain's like, you've discovered a super secret part of the toxin refinery. No, that's not how this works. It's alright, Plasma Gun, we can make it. Oh, it doesn't buffer the button presses. Okay. By that I mean, like, if I hold the button for weapon switch, if I tap L like 4 times, I'd be relying on it to go directly to shotgun, but it doesn't store how many times I press the button, so it's just gonna... I'll tap it 4 times, but it's only like, no. I'm only moving once. So you have a rocket launcher, which is disastrous when I'm in close range. Phil says, Attack Ants is more akin to RTS, and it might be the worst game in UFO 50. I've never played that one yet. That one's still one of the ones I haven't opened. But that's good to know going in. In fact, no, wait, I remember you saying that was a thoroughly unpleasant experience, remember thinking back. That'll be another bit of fun for the stream. Just load up UFO 50 again and pick another game I haven't touched. Like the Ant game. See how much I hate it immediately. Or Waldorf's Journey. That looks like fun. And I cherried it. Oh my god, why? If it's the worst game, why? I mean, there's some games I like that I would hesitate to cherry, like Fist Hell. I don't think getting the cherry is in the cards for that one. Winter says, I remember playing a lot of the original XCOM game way back when. Loved how creepy it was. Fuck, I can't remember the last time I thought about XCOM, dude. Okay, there should be like 2 barons. Could I possibly get out of here without getting eaten by 2 barons? Perhaps if I run fast. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's the thing. They weren't up and roaming like I thought they were. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. All right. The spawning vats. Then that... Oh, wait, no, it does come after that one. That is... This is not that music. Jesus. Verducci Man, what up, D-Dog? Hey, what's going on, Verducci Man? Did you finish Sigma? No, I didn't. Not yet. That's going to be continuing next week. See, we had someone else die earlier in the week, so I decided to play their best and most infamous work today. We're going to get back on track with Ninja Gaiden Sigma next week. Sigma Black, rather. Can't just do vanilla Sigma. Gots to have as close to black as possible. Of course, the funny thing is about those two things, because that one originally started with me wanting to honor Tomonobu Itagaki, but I wasn't able to use the original hardware because while I do have my copy of the game, my Xbox is just not in the best of health. I have to, like, hit it to make it boot, and then hit it a special way to make its disc tray open. But my 3DO works like a fucking tank. It's in better health than my Xbox. Like, someone explain that to me. Alex says, here's the real question. When will you play Gorn? When I get a VR setup that I can use for streaming, I will play Gorn. That is when I will do it. But not before I have the proper tools. Phil asks, have you tried Rock On Island yet? It's a tower defense game which span off of old RTS. Might be one of my top 5s in UFO 50. I think it was my first cherry as well. Rock On Island, I'm gonna go with I've tried it because I seem to remember... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've tried Rock On Island, but I've neither completed nor cherried it. I'll have to go back to that. Nucci Man says, Noise, is this 3DO Doom? Yes, it is. It is 3DO Doom on an actual, honest-to-God 3DO. We're going in style today. Sigma balls. It is balls. Says, yeah, that guy's enemy AI in those games are crazy. They're made to stop you. And stop you indefinitely. Should I be streaming Gorn? Maybe. You've got the equipment. Verducci says, man, you want to hear about regret? I regret selling my low-mileage OG Xbox back in the day. Oh, your low-mileage one. Oh, man. That would be a rue and lament. Good Lord. Honestly, what I should do is fix my Xbox up and, like, install the fan OS. I think it's called Insignia. They've got their own version of Xbox Live running through there, so I could, like, hop back on to Outrun or Doom 3. Ow! Looks good. Well, thank you, Verducci. We do try. Phil asked, did you cherry Nightmare off camera yet? You were close. I have not, actually. I had debated whether or not I wanted to do that one off stream or wait until the next time I pick up UFO 50 for the stream and then complete it, or, get that cherry then before moving on to something else. Haven't decided yet which way I want to go. But I do fully intend to cherry that. I know I was close. I was only missing 1 or 2 ingredients away from that slurry that we need to actually defeat the dude and end the nightmare. Without him appearing in the back seat at the end. Carnivorous says, good for the fans for keeping that shit running. Yeah! Yeah, exactly! Those communities can keep thriving. Classic Halo can keep existing. I mean, that reason by itself is why I should be getting in on that. Get some old school OG Halo 2 and bust my map packs back out again. That'd be good stuff. Bleh. Puts all of Streets of Rage games into widescreen HD, though. Actually, if that's what you're into, Verducci, have you heard of Streets of Rage Remake? It's exactly what it says on the tin. But that gives Streets of Rage proper widescreen and a whole lot of other options. Lots of fun. Something I've set up in my multicade. It's so much fun. Streets of Rage is better played in a cabinet. Like any beat 'em up. Phil says, okay, you don't have much of the Nightmare Manor left at all, so it wouldn't even be half a stream. Well, that's exactly it. Like, it could be a unique buffer kind of situation. So, could just work out that way. Ooh, the Tower of Babel. Complete with the Phobos Lab music. Good start. And this is the console version of Tower of Babel, so we will not be fighting the Cyber Demon. We would if it were the Super Nintendo, but that's just too much for a 3DO. Minucci says, I think I'll have to check that out. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pretty sure once I fix my disk drive and maybe pop a new hard drive in there, flash it with the proper stuff, I ought to be fine to either play ISOs or my original discs, which I still have. Online if I choose. Oh my god, this frame rate. Panera says, well, at the mere mention of Halo 2, I have a new goal. Excellent! Excellent! I totally get it though. Like that alone is enough to make me want to explore it a bit more seriously. The drive, or not that hard drive. The disk drive might be the hardest part to find, but, I'll have to see what happens after looking into it. Because honestly, who wouldn't want to go back online for Halo 2? That was some of the most fun I've ever had in multiplayer. Is that behind me? Yes. Was it both sides? Oh. Oh. Nope. Don't want to use that yet. There's no need. We just need to get some infighting going. Okay, good. They're eating each other. Now, how about that Baron? Can we get you latched onto a Cacodemon? Save me some ammo. Oh, shit. Okay, that is not the strafe button. What I was holding. Oh, I was holding open, not strafe. That would do it. Good, good. Throttle on each other. Get the ah, whoa! They got the rare death where the head explodes and everything. That was fucking sweet. That was a really stupid mistake I made, though. Oh. And now I'm out of weapons. Well, at least it starts with a plasma gun. This is not going to go well. Carnivorous says, oh yeah, Halo 2 multiplayer was so good back in the day. It was untouchable. Just untouchable. The levels were great. The weapons were great. It was just such a great time. What a time to be alive. Alex asks, is that the first time you've died? Yep. And I don't think it's going to be the last. I should have used the BFG instead of resisting my urges. Whoever says, I've never seen that. Cool. Yeah, it's a very rare death animation. Certainly not something I see very often. Glad I did it on a recording. Oh, right. I was going to be like, what do you mean that's out of ammo already? I came here with, yeah, and then you lost it, genius. Oh my god. No! 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 Oh, I got flanked. Oh, can we squeeze out? Can we squeeze out? It's Berserker time! Oh my god, there's even more. Sweet. Oh. Oh no. Oh, it's happening again. It's happening. Ah, god damn it. Oh, cool. It happened again. Now that is mathematically hilarious. Someone paid like $100 to play Doom like this back in the day. They did, Alex. They did. And I gotta imagine they didn't feel that great about it. $100. Wasn't the 3DO like 300? Yes, I imagine he's talking just about the cost of the game itself. The 3DO was unholy expensive for the time. But yeah. Somebody did. A few people did. And you know what? It's even more expensive now on the collector's market. Well, that's the end. Hold on. I'm just going to quickly look up the eBay prices. eBay.ca. Come on. Load faster. 3D. Go away. 3DO Doom. Pre-owned $156. $70 with $26 shipping, $166, $141, $176. God. Why would anybody pay that amount of money to play Doom like this? Kenshiro making Doom guy's head explode. Look, I was dead already. Phil says, the only thing that comes to mind when I think of 3DO is Army Men. I remember Army Men, Sarge's Heroes? Damn! I completely forgot about them. I can only think of this system and its, blessings. I mean, to be completely fair, you know what? I still do, like, legit love Gex. When I was setting this up, like, making sure my 3DO can connect to my capture for this stream, I, you know, set all my volume levels, did testing for Wolfenstein and Doom, and then I popped in Gex just to, you know, test it, and then suddenly 2 hours were gone, and I was like, what the hell? Why is this B? He still seems pretty interested in those guys. I plan to keep it that way. Now, how do we deal with them while not getting trapped? Kindly move your pink ass. Oh no! No, no! The lag is unholy. Phil says some of my GameCube games are getting pretty pricey. Scenari 2-3 for $150. Yep, that's completely, unfortunately, common. Each, yeah, I assumed. I never assumed those were for a combo. I remember there was this store that was trying to clear it out, but they started at like 120. And I was like, you know, I'd buy that if it wasn't 120 fucking dollars. I'm pretty sure the store closed before they sold the game. I don't even know if they did. Oh, hey, we did it! Look at that! Yeah, this is definitely not the right music. It's also not the right sky, but who cares? It's all based off the Jaguar version anyway. Ah, crud. Well, I guess it was good that we were able to finish that level and end on a high note, because I just saw out of the corner of my eye, I've not been minding the clock, and we have run out of the amount of time that we have available to stream today. Hope y'all had fun with the Panasonic 3DO Fun Drop. This also functioned as a great bench test for when the new version of Super Nintendo Doom drops from Limited Run with all the expanded levels that were previously missing, Thy Flesh Consumed, that I'll be able to hook up that hardware very simply, play it authentically. Of course, it looks great for you guys, but I gotta say, on the display that I'm playing it, it's actually in the wrong aspect ratio, and I can't, the remote is gone, because I bought this at like a, I don't know, some like second-hand store, didn't have a remote or anything, so the idea of changing the aspect ratio, not gonna happen. I just have to deal with the stretch, but I fixed it on the stream side. Anyway, once again, thank you all for spending some time with me. Hope y'all had fun, and join us next week, where we are going to be continuing Ninja Gaiden Sigma Black, and you know what? I might put I'll probably just put up a poll for the other games that we have available, because I like what that did last time. I like the engagement. Get to see what everyone's opinions are. Don't like boring them. Good stream, bro. Well, thank you, Carnivorous. That means a lot. Oh, we'll have a nice rest of your day, people. Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. I'm sure we all will. Phil says, damn, Code Veronica is $250, and I hate that game. See? See? Like, I was popping a bunch of money on that just trying to get to play it on my Dreamcast, and my Dreamcast rejected every disc of it. It's... oh, retro gaming's gross sometimes. Alright, everybody. Thanks again for showing up. I'll see you next week. Until then, have a good one, guys.